Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia. I'm coming to you on Thursday, the 19th of September 2024. Welcome if you're here for the first time, and welcome back if you are a regular viewer. I can't even talk anymore. It's been about 2 weeks, and as you can probably tell, I have been so ill. It's been ridiculous. My son started school, and from day one, he was coughing and didn't have a voice, and we just really caught it badly. So, this is day one of feeling sort of like normal again. And I decided to really quickly, if I can, just to catch you up on what I've been knitting, because my knitting and my crafting has been all over the place, as has been my life, really. But let's focus on the knitting, at least to start with. Apologies for the voice. I hope you can still understand me. We'll also see how long that voice lasts. But yeah, I just decided to get an episode out there because I have been crafting. And yeah, I can't even show you everything because I've just been willy-nilly, like doing things, casting things on, forgetting about projects, ripping out projects. We'll see how far we get. But I have 4 finished objects. One of which I've already lost. My son requested a purple cowl. So what did I do? I got some purple sock yarn from Stash, just held 4 strands double, 2 different colors. I think one was like a Wollmeise pure whatever, and one was a Coopnitz socks, yeah. Basically all the purple yarn that I had. I just made a little cowl for him because he rides his little bike to school. So it's quite handy to just have something just to pop over his head. I'm not sure where it is. Maybe it's at school with him. Maybe he's already lost it. But I finished that. It was very straightforward. I also, not sure if I mentioned this, I finished this hat yesterday. This is a very, very simple 1x1 ribbed hat. I knit this using 104 stitches on a 2.75 millimeter needle, and I used linen quill held double. So this is yarn from Pearl Soho. I'm just gonna mess up my hair. It's just a very, very simple beanie, and I honestly love it. It is so bright. I didn't use a pattern, but there are tons of patterns for 1x1 ribbed hats if you need one. Yeah, just pop it into Google or Ravelry search or whatever. Yeah, I just sort of made this out of my endless stash of leftovers of linen quill. I've made quite a few linen quill projects this year, and this bright pink has always wanted to be a hat. So yeah, finished this last night. I also finished this pair of socks. This was really funny. I was just knitting on these socks while I was feeling really, really poorly. And I just knit. I didn't really think. I didn't feel like I was being productive. And suddenly the socks were done. So these socks are out of Fine Fish Fibers yarn, who I don't believe is dying anymore, but I still haven't checked. I knit these on 9-inch circulars, and I put in some afterthought heels. And yeah, otherwise just plain vanilla socks. Mostly knitted while watching F1, the last 2 races, and they are done. So that is one finished object. And then the most exciting one. I finished my Montello wrap. So how do I even show this to you? All the ends are woven in. It has been blocked. I haven't snipped off the ends yet, as per usual. I think last time I showed it to you, I was in that middle lace section. So since then, I've done the stripes. I did all of the lace, except I made a mistake and misread the chart on every single one of these lace sections, but it doesn't matter. And I finished it. So this is the Montello wrap. It is a kit and pattern by Blue Sky Fibers in their Woolstock worsted yarn. And you know what, you guys? Obviously I haven't styled this properly, but isn't this just so beautiful? I love it. I love how the lace, which I think I have the wrong side around, but the lace is sort of in the middle near your face, and you have these long bits, and I'm sure there are many different ways of styling it. I'm not doing it today, but I am so thrilled with this. I am really, really, really excited about it. I think even just worn open, if you're that sort of person, yeah, I'm just making a massive mess here. Isn't it just so pretty? Like, I have a very understated coat. I have a very boring charcoal gray wool coat, and I think this would be amazing with it. So yeah, this is done. If you've been following around for a while, you've heard about my problems with the yarn and the kit. I'm not going to go into all of that again. But I did finish it. I did modify the crap out of this, I will be honest. First of all, while it is really long, I made it much shorter because I know that a couple of people, including a viewer of this podcast, had issues because this pattern is just written for too long of a wrap. And this being Aran weight yarn as well, it would have just been too heavy and too big, and I didn't have the yarn. So I shortened it massively. There's a shorter stripe section in the pattern as well, which I didn't like, so I cut that out. I made the middle bit much shorter, and most importantly, you're supposed to eventually use a different lace chart to, I think, mirror this lace, so it goes both ways. But I like the lace chart, and I had it memorized in my head, so I wasn't changing anything. So I just used lace chart 1 throughout the entire pattern. I sort of played with the stripes a little bit. So this basically looks like a Montello wrap, but I did make it fit my requirements and my yarn and all of that. And I have about half a ball of the cream yarn left, which is perfect. So yeah, Montello wrap is done, which I am very, very happy about. Sorry, my voice is already going. Quicker than I expected. So let's quickly chat about some whips. After I finished my son's cowl, I decided to make a cowl for myself because I had the worst sore throat for a week, and I love cowls and I never have any. And I decided to cast on with a yarn that I've been sort of coveting for a while. This yarn is Schoppel Edition 3. So it's similar to the Zauberball yarn, but it's 100% wool yarn. I think it's slightly thicker. I've of course lost the label, but these come in 50-gram balls, and I bought this at the Knitting and Stitching show last year, so pretty much a year ago. And first I was going to make a cowl just with that, but it looked a little bit boring. So what I decided to do is, once I'd done the ribbing, I just cast on a bunch of stitches. I have from a D-stash bought a bunch of like random leftover balls of story alpaca. Just because why not add a bit of fluff to everything, right? So I had this gray, and I decided to add some fluff stripes to this, and I wasn't so sure about it in the beginning. But you guys, this is so soft and so fluffy and very, very light. And this is going to be lovely around my neck. I'm really excited about this now. I'm not sure if it's the most beautiful thing I've ever knit, but I'm doing it. And essentially, I'm just going to continue the stripes until I run out of this. And then I'm going to do the ribbing with this and cast off. And the good thing is I have another ball of this yarn anyways, so I can always make another cowl if I want to. Or I could do like a half matching Musselburgh hat or something. So yeah, I am knitting on a cowl. I have also been making a bit of progress on my second Nebula sweater. And this one is looking huge. I need to recheck my gauge. Not that I'm going to rip back or anything if it's off, it's just going to be oversized. But this is Nebula number 2. It's a bottom-up sweater by Andrea Mowry. This is where I was the last time I showed this to you, so I've added maybe almost 4 inches. And I am at the stage of just going round and round and round. I think I've finished all of my increases now. But you can see the dramatic short rows. So the back is much longer than the front, which gives it a really sort of flattering shape. And I love the color. I love it so much. So I've worked a little bit on this. I have also started some new socks. So you may remember I joined the Colorwork Cuff Club by Summerly Knits, and I did knit the August socks, and I was going to cast on the September socks, but then instead I decided to cast on the bonus pattern that came with the August socks because I liked it better. So this is the bonus Colorwork Cuff Club pattern, which came out in August. And this is the colorwork cuff. So as the name suggests, you get a different colorwork cuff each month. And I made mine a little bit shorter. Of course, I had to modify, right? So I used less colors, I believe, and I just sort of, I did my own thing because that's what I do. But this is colorwork cuff number 1. And this is colorwork cuff number 2. So once again, I knit both of the colorwork sections basically concurrently because I just like to get the colorwork out of the way, and if I do the colorwork right away, I can ensure that both socks will have the same tension. Whereas if, I knit a million other projects in between, my colorwork tension might just be off. So this way, both socks have the same tension on the colorwork, and then what you can maybe see is I have done a 6x2 rib for the rest of the sock, which makes it look really funny, but I think it's going to be really, really pretty. Because of course my leg is going to stretch out the sock so it looks more like a regular sock. And I'll just have this really cute bit of colorwork stick out of a boot, and I think it's going to be beautiful. So I have turned the heel on the first sock, and I'm just working on the foot. And then once I finish this one, I will just put this one back on the needles and do the same. The yarn that I'm using for this is Filcolana Aweta as my main color. And then I used a couple of random, excuse all the background noise. I used a couple of random mini skeins and another color of Filcolana Aweta for the contrast. I just needed something happy and new to cast on, and that did the trick. So that is that. And then, very last minute, I am going to a baby shower next weekend. So obviously I need baby knits. So I may have a blanket project if I finish it in time, which I'll show you next time. But I have also, of course, my go-to baby knit is the beloved bonnet by Tin Can Knits. So I was frantically looking through Stash this morning to see what my friend would like, and this friend I have not knitted for before. And I don't know her that well, so I was a little bit more curious as to what I can use in terms of color. So I dug out this sock yarn, which is beautiful. This is Lana Grossa Colorado. And I was going to hold this double, and I started the hat, the beloved bonnet. I'm not sure if he's going to like it. If it were another friend, I would just go for it, but I'm not sure. So I have put this on hold, and I might make this for someone else, or I might rip it out. I haven't decided yet. But instead, I picked out this yarn from Stash, and this I know my friend will love. So this is Felt Fusion, one of her sock yarns. I think it came in a set. I have used this yarn, and I don't even remember. I've used it for a couple of small bits. I have started socks in it and then frogged it again. So I think I had about 75 grams of this yarn left, and yeah, it should be enough to make a beloved bonnet by Tin Can Knits. So you can see I've done the strap, I've done one side, and I'm now decreasing down the other side. I am holding the yarn double, and I think it's really beautiful. It's looking rather big. I'm doing exactly the same size, the newborn size, on the same amount of size of needle in sock yarn held double as I did for my previous friend's beloved bonnet for her baby shower. But somehow this is coming out quite big, but it'll be fine. Baby will grow into it, and I think it is really, really pretty. I think it's just such an effective pattern, and I think it's fun to knit. And I had a lot of training this morning, so some of this was knit during my mandatory IT security training, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, that is another thing that I've started, and I'm not even showing you all of my whips today. I'm just all over the place, and that's okay. The last thing that I want to show you today is another blanket that I've cast on. Don't judge me. Maybe I should start with the fact that I think out of feeling a bit overwhelmed, I did the logical thing the other day and I destashed a bunch of yarn. I think I got rid of about 1.5 kilos of yarn. Most of it was a donation. Because I just needed less in my life, and I went through all of my projects and I went through all of my scraps and donated some of those. And do you remember my Bits and Bobs blanket? I know some of you really liked it. It is no more. It is no more. I'm not going to say much more about it, but it doesn't exist anymore. So I had a blanket vacuum in my stash, so naturally I had to start a new blanket that actually made me happy. And I have done that. So this is my modified Star Bright blanket. It is called Star Bright because I'm using the Star Bright color pack from Lucy of Attic 24, who, if you are a crocheter, you might know. She is this amazing crochet blanket designer. Her patterns are for free, which is lovely, and she quite regularly has sort of releases with color packs and patterns, and I fell in love with the Star Bright one when it came out last year. Again, about a year ago. I fell in love with it, crushed on it so hard, tried really, really hard not to buy it, and actually didn't until it came up. The kit came up in a D-stash. So I got the whole kit for much less money, and I had been just waiting and waiting to start this blanket. So I decided to finally do it. So I am not doing the original Star Bright blanket. I am doing the Star Bright V-stitch blanket. So it's just a V-stitch pattern that Attic 24 had sort of as an alternative for the pack. And because of me, I also changed the colorway order to a sort of rainbow fade. So I am using all of the colors. I am doing 2 rows per color, and isn't it beautiful? I love it so much. Sorry, my work computer is going off. I love it so much. I am using a 4mm hook, which is creating quite a dense fabric, and I really, really like it. This is just bringing me so much joy. I just need to find time to work on it, but it is started, and I am very, very happy about it. So yeah, the yarn is Stylecraft Special DK, which is just what the kit came with. If you're curious about details, just go on the Wool Warehouse website and it'll have all the colors listed, and you can find all of the Attic 24 patterns on Attic 24's blog. I'm not sponsored. Yeah, I'm just letting you know what I got with my own money, all of that. All right, you guys, my voice is going. So I'll just very, very briefly catch you up on what's been going on. My son started school. It's going really well. I think we're really lucky. I mean, it's been rocky, of course, and he's exhausted and we're exhausted, and it's a big change. And I probably underestimated how much it wouldn't only just change his routine, but also our routine. But yeah, he's doing really well. I think we got really lucky with the teacher and school and all of that. But it obviously has meant quite a shift. I'm shifting my work pattern. And yeah, just us getting really ill was really unfortunate, especially when your kid still has to go to school. Because he was okay, he actually wasn't that bad. It was more Kai and myself who got struck down, and of course, yeah, it's just the way it is. It's just been in shambles. Let's not even talk about other stuff that's going on in my house right now. Everything's a bit all over the place. But the good thing is he's in school. I think we're hopefully getting out of this cold slump. I'm starting to feel like a human again, and so is Kai. And yeah, we're just trying to take it easy as much as we can. I had some rest, and today is my first full day back at work, so this is just me using my lunch break. And I'm hoping by next week, when I have to start commuting back into London and all of that, fingers crossed, we'll be somewhat back to normal. But yeah, it's been a big shift. I'm trying to just go with it and take it easy and embrace it and remember that things will go back to a new normal pretty soon, I'm sure. Hopefully I'm not jinxing it. But yeah, I just wanted to catch you up on what I have been knitting. I hope this has even been understandable. I am really, really sorry. I'm not re-recording this. Good is the enemy of perfect. We're just gonna go with it. Thank you so much to everyone who has left encouraging comments on my last podcast. I really appreciate them. I really appreciate those of you who appreciate, real life and, life doing life things and all of that. You guys know I find it hard to be out there on YouTube when everything and everyone else seems very sort of polished and perfectly produced, but oh well, we'll just go with it. Hopefully you'll have had a short glimpse into all of my creative obsessions. I need to get my whips organized again. I was really good. 2 weeks ago, I had it all organized. I had a to-do list. I was on top of it, and now it's all gone. Yeah, it's gone a bit awry, but I'll get back on top of it. In fact, if I find some more time today, hopefully I can sort through my craft room, and then at some point, routine will come back, I'm sure. So I hope wherever you are in the world that you are healthy and happy and safe and you have some yarn to play with. Do let me know what you're knitting on. I will talk to you as soon as I possibly can. Until then, have a great week, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.